Satnam, guys. It's the full moon. No, it's the new moon in Sagittarius. And in my last video, I mentioned that I wanted to share some introspection with you, some reflection, because I thought it may be useful to you. And I talk a lot about shadow work, but I never really gave a concrete example. So I waited until this moment because I really took some time to process things and to digest things, because it's interesting. Shadow work, if you're genuinely interested, your consciousness will help you. Your subconscious will work with you. And one of the ways it can work for you and with you is through your dreams. Our outer world and our inner world are intrinsically connected. So our outer world is animated by our inner world. I had this example where two dreams in the last month really highlighted this dynamic between inside and outside, as within, so without. And these two dreams also made me aware of how my subconscious is really trying to help me see or process or integrate some of my shadow aspects. So first of all, okay, what is a shadow aspect? Our conscious mind is only the tip of the iceberg, no? It's like 4%, and then we have like 96%, which is subconscious. So it's difficult for us to see ourselves through 360 degrees. And often, we all have parts that we consciously label as not good, unlikable, that we reject, that we can't accept about ourselves, that we find difficulty, accepting that they're parts of us too. No, even us, we like to see ourselves as good. So anything that threatens that image gets relayed into the shadow. So that's one aspect. Yeah, our shadow also carries a lot of power. Sometimes we reject our own power into the shadow because it feels safer to be, the good girl, the people pleaser. Yeah, so the shadow is not just bad. It just means it's out of our conscious arena, the light of our awareness. So, we are already in the energetic new year. The new year doesn't start on the 1st of January. Energetically, between the 11/11 and the 12/12 portal, so 11th of November and the 12th of December, that's when the new energetic year kicks in. And especially now, as you may have noticed, things are speeding up, meaning not only are we going through a new energetic year, but everything that doesn't serve us in our own evolution and transformation is brought to the surface. And that's when our shadows come up, no? Old patterns also that are really ready to be released. So let me share about these two dreams I had. One of them I actually made a visual, but the other one I'm just going to tell you like a story, and I invite you for you to visualize it. So the first one was, I was on this motorbike, like speeding along. Imagine on this motorbike, speeding along, but all of a sudden I had to stop. And I kind of parked this high-tech motorbike, and as I parked it and just kind of let it be there, it converted into a super basic bicycle. And I walked into this wash house, and it was muddy, and my feet were getting dirty, and I was trying to wash my feet, but I couldn't get the mud off. And it was a wash house, so I opened one of the doors because I had to go to the bathroom. So I opened one of those doors and it was like flooded. Like imagine, okay, stay with me here. Imagine like a flooded bathroom and literally some floating along, and I was like, oh my God. And I closed the door again. And it left such a visceral impression, this dream. I mean, just try and imagine, no? I was like, what did it mean? And I just kind of parked it. When you remember dreams, when you're able to remember dreams, those dreams that are very salient, they're important. So I took note of that dream in my dream journal, and I just kind of left it there because I couldn't make sense of it in the moment. But in my waking life, this is what happened. It's quite a funny story. So I have this very good friend and also entrepreneur and designer. Her name is Maria Gonzalez. It's funny, we've been working together and discovering AI and just, dibbling about ChatGPT and all of those things. And in one of our meetings, Maria said, Mel, I think we gotta build this ChatGPT agent to help us with the tax office here, tributaria we call it, yeah. Because I was struggling. I'm going to go off on a tangent, but it's all going to come together. I was struggling in helping my mom with the tax case. And when these letters arrive, I think in any language, the juridical language just doesn't make sense, at least to me. I don't know about you. But like whether it's in English or in German or in Spanish, it's like, what is this language? I have no idea what they actually want. And then time goes by and you feel more pressured. Anyway, I was just like super stressed with this case. Maria had been stressed with her own cases, and she's like, Mel, I think we got to create this agent. And I'm like, let's do it. So we sat down and she created this agent. And it was kind of for fun. We're like, okay. So like, she's like, let's just put it online. And then I'm like, yeah, but Maria, I think this is a really good idea. Perhaps you should put a, like donate €1 if you want, if you're so inclined, like put a button. So you get something in return, give and receive. That was my kind of mindset. But Maria was very firm in her belief. She's like, Mel, everybody's struggling with what do you call them? Impuestos? With taxes. Let's not on top of it ask people to pay for this, because the information is there, it's public. I'm just putting it all together and letting it loose, so people can use this tool. And I was like, yeah, but Maria, you could do with the money, I don't want the money, but if somebody, at least you're giving somebody the chance to reciprocate. Now that was my argument, no? And I also told her, look, you also need money to do your own projects. Just look at it from an abundance mindset. But she was very firm. She's like, no, Mel, I don't want to come across like begging. And I was like, oh, okay, I respect obviously she was the one also like launching it, no? I respect your choice. So Maria set this ChatGPT bot loose, and I kind of like forgot about it because I was stressed with my own case, and also I needed more specific information, not just about the Spanish tax system, but about the German tax system. But anyway, turns out that the next day, Maria wrote, she's like, Mel, this thing has gone viral. It literally had gone viral. So apparently, like, so many Spanish people discovered this agent, ChatGPT agent, and made use of it. And were like, hallelujah, this is amazing. This is genius. And literally from one day to the other, Maria got, famous. And people wanted to interview her. And this is where my shadow cut came in. First of all, when I'm always, I love to celebrate people, especially people I believe in, and people are passionate about their own projects. So I was cheering Maria on. But I caught myself in the beginning, like, denying emotions I had inside. So when I sat with myself and really felt what was going on inside, I realized that I felt some envy. But as soon as I felt the envy, I tried to deflect it, because a part of me was like, how can you be envious? This is your friend and she's doing good. But if I had been honest that moment, I would have in that moment acknowledged that it was envy. I figured it out later because I did sit with it, but in the moment I rejected it. So when I say accepting or integrating our shadow, it really means sitting with all of your parts. even the ones that you deem as not acceptable. The envy that I felt in the first instant it just was. But the fact that I denied it, that's when it became, that's when I tried to relate into the shadow, because I labeled it as not acceptable. The moment where I caught myself feeling the envy and then labeled it and judged it, that's when I felt shame. It's like ooh, an emotion that I can't accept, deny it, and then comes another emotion, shame, which I also didn't want to accept, and I denied it. But thankfully nowadays, I don't completely deny it into the shadow, so I just kind of put it away because I couldn't deal with it in the moment. But when I tell you that I've been spending time sitting with myself and processing things, that's what I did. I went back to that moment and said, wait a minute, Magic Mel. Let's be honest here. You did feel envy. Let's accept it. But what is underneath? Where does it come from? Underneath was the kind of feeling, I thought I've been doing good. I thought that I had a good argument. How come Maria all of a sudden got all his attention? How did she all of a sudden get this attention when I also had a good intention behind it? There was a kind of jealousy there. Until I looked at it and I said, I looked at my own emotion. I said, hey, it's not like the spotlight is for one person. What is this about spotlight anyway? Do you need to be in the spotlight? Do you need to be liked? So what I'm sharing with you is like a process of sitting with these emotions that I felt and being inquisitive, being curious. Because it's not about sticking a label on the emotion and rejecting it and saying you're not allowed here, but saying, okay, you are here. I am going to sit with you with my awareness, and I want to understand you. Where are you coming from? What insecurity are you triggering? That is the process of integration. I'm not saying it's comfortable. I myself did not want to deal with it. It's only after the two dreams, after I linked them with this dream, with the motorbike, and another one I'll share with you also, that it started to make sense. Shadow integration is having the capacity to sit with all of our emotions, to shed our non-judgmental awareness, to make our awareness so wide that all emotions are able to sit there, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Because they're all necessary. They all help us. All emotions help us to get to know ourselves deeper. And that is mainly what my interest here is growth and self-knowledge. Not know thyself, the Gnostic saying. So the way I transmuted those emotions, the envy, the jealousy, and the shame, was with self-compassion. Because no emotions also happen out of context, no? I tried to look at myself in that moment again when I was working with Maria and what was going on around me. I was super stressed with this tax case of my mom. I was generally depleted, I was tired, and I was coming from a mindset of lack. So what Maria actually taught me was that we have enough. Basically what Maria's argument was that, Mel, we don't need to beg. We don't even need to put that donation button here. It's not necessary. We are already abundant. And again, the envy and shame were there because I'm like, wow, I thought I was the one inspiring her. Now it's like her heart is even bigger than mine. But again, the comparison, I put compassion there. I said, Magic Mel, you don't need to compare yourself to Maria. Isn't it beautiful what she said? Isn't it true that we have enough, that we are enough? So I transmuted the initial feeling of envy and jealousy and shame through my self-compassion into inspiration for Maria. I had to humble myself and see truly with the light of my loving awareness towards myself and towards the situation, what was really going on here, what was the opportunity here. The way it links back to the motorbike dream is that, you know, we're so fast paced. We want to steam ahead. That was me on the motorbike. Like, okay, I'm going towards, I don't know where I'm going, but I'm going fast. And the dream was telling me like, wait. Park your motorbike, get off your high horse, so to speak, your steel horse, park it transforming into a normal bicycle, humility, and go into the wash house and look at your own shit first. Really? And by shit, I mean ways of thinking that are no longer useful. The scarcity mindset, the comparison. There's also the notion in the dream that, remember, I couldn't wash off the mud from my feet, meaning the mud will always be there, and the mud is necessary in alchemical terms, because out of the mud grows the lotus, grows consciousness. So we should be thankful. Should is the wrong word, but you know where I'm coming from. Let's be thankful for the muddy, the difficult experiences, because it's those experiences when we wrestle with ourselves, with our shadow, that we come to a new point of consciousness in our journey. It's like a spiral, no? So I feel this energetic new year is bringing up a lot of our own shadows so that we can integrate them and release old patterns. The old paradigm, the age of Pisces, the Piscean age, was competition, me versus them. It's like scarcity, hierarchy. There's not enough. I've got to go out and fight for what's mine. The age of Aquarius, that's being born through all of us, through our being, is B2B, collaboration, access to information for all, and wisdom through our own experiences. That's why the shadow work is so important, no? That's why sitting and reflecting, genuinely having the intention to heal and to integrate your shadow is very powerful. Because as you release things, you become lighter and you can embody a new frequency, a new energetic way of being. And that's how the new world is born through us, no? But let me tell you about the second dream that is also again linked with this real life situation with my friend. It's incredible. So these two dreams, they happened not long after each other, so a similar time span. And the funny thing about dreams is a dream might appear in your life or in your consciousness, and the real experiences connecting to it might come after. You know, our psyche works in funny ways because time essentially is an illusion. Also, time is malleable. Whether the dream comes first or the experience, the context will create itself. Your psyche will project the real life experience to correspond with the dream so that you can make sense out of it, because your soul, your being, wants you to become more aware. So the second dream is deeply linked with my experience with Maria and linked with the motorbike dream. So the second dream is more simple, and I actually made an illustration because I believe that we honor our dreams and our subconscious when we illustrate them, when we consciously work with them in a creative way. So I made an illustration. I'm going to show it with you. I'm going to paste into the video. And what you see is me holding a praying mantis in my hand and reluctantly looking at and hesitantly eating it. And I know, again, it's a bit of a radical, gross image, especially for me. I'm someone, I have cockroach phobia. I don't know what the correct term is, but I'm not a fan of insects with many feet, and especially cockroaches. They freak me out. And for me, praying mantises are in the same category, more or less. So I was in this dream reluctantly eating this praying mantis. And again, it was such a striking image that it stuck with me. Like I woke up and like this means something. So when the situation, my real life experience with Maria happened, and I started to reflect, I was like, I got it. I understand. What I gathered was that the praying mantis, it was an aspect of me that was waiting to be integrated. And what better metaphor but eating it, literally eating it, no? Reluctantly eating it means that it wasn't a comfortable process to integrate this shadow aspect, but it was necessary. The fact that it was a praying mantis also highlighted the fact that I needed to actually slow down, just like in the motorbike dream, slow down and observe and reflect on it, and not label the shadow as something bad or evil. It's literally a praying mantis, like almost like a sacred being. The shadow is sacred. And although I was reluctant, I still ate it. So although it was an uncomfortable process of acknowledging my envy or my jealousy and my shame, it was necessary, because they linked, the emotions. They carried the thread to a deeper insecurity, which I had to look at within me so that I could integrate it with love. When you look at your insecurity and really look at it neutrally with loving gaze, it will dissolve. You can actually give it the love it needed. For example, an insecurity of jealousy towards a friend might indicate a deeper feeling of, am I not good enough? How about me? So if you can give that aspect of you inside that's saying, well, how about me? If you can give that aspect your love, saying, well, I'm here, I see you, I know who you are enough, then that shadow aspect literally integrates and dissolves within you, becomes part of your light, your loving awareness. Yeah. It's a very deep process, but I'm telling you, it's so powerful, because as long as we don't make the unconscious conscious, we're just like a puppet thinking we're autonomous, but we're actually driven by our shadow aspects, our subconscious drives. When we integrate them, we can work in a more balanced, whole way, especially when we create the light of our awareness so big that the shadow aspects can be in there. It's meaning we're not polarizing ourselves. We're not labeling something that's part of us as bad or evil. See where I'm getting at? Because we live in a world of duality. We need the light only exists because of the shadow as contrast. We cannot separate the one from the other. They're integral to each other. So to become whole in the Jungian sense, Carl Gustav Jung, both light and shadow need to have space to coexist. So what we deem as unlikable, rejected, not acceptable, has to have equal space as what we label as acceptable and good and all that stuff. Yeah? So to sum it up, the two dreams together, sometimes we're very outer directed, no? We're very driven by outer achievement, outer results. But what this I'd say 3 weeks or 2 weeks of integration process has taught me humility, that the psychological process is an organic process that has its own timing. And it is good timing now, because literally I don't want to take the old pattern of scarcity of like, there's not enough, I'm not enough, with me into the new energetic new year. So it's a blessing that this shadow and the shadows came up so I can look at them and release them and integrate them. So humility at the divine timing and divine orchestration of events. Yeah. Our trajectory is not linear. It has an organic timeline. So the humility to accept that is one lesson. the realization that all of our relationships are blessings, in the sense that there are opportunities for us to see reflected in the other what we can be inspired by or what we have rejected within ourselves. In this case, Maria inspired me, to let go of this scarcity mindset, to be generous and say, Mel, we don't need to beg. We don't need to put that donate button. We're already worthy. We're already abundant. Money is not the end all. Abundance is the ability to do what you need to do when you need to do it. Relationships, the way things appear into your life magically, that's all abundance. And I was rightly, I must say, worried about finances, like looking at the problem rather than focusing on what all the possibilities that are there, the blessings of my relationships, which transcend literally, which are the pillars for me. Let's say the whole system goes down. Hey, I still have amazing relationships. We can support each other. Yeah. So to once and for all, okay, I wouldn't maybe need to be, I think patterns come back in spirals, so we can have the opportunity to see if we really changed, no? So they may arise again, but having a conscious opportunity to really look at that pattern of mine and say, I choose to release it and to step into the unknown and trust the universe and try out a new way of being. Trust even more, step even more into the unknown. Really trust that I'm abundant enough, that not only are there resources, but that I am resourceful, that you are resourceful with the way you think. Abundance mindset, no? Second lesson. Third one was, it's a never-ending process, guys. Shadow integration. Everything is a never-ending process. So it taught me to drop this notion that I'm never going to be complete or completely healed or there's nothing else to integrate. Again, coming back to humility. No? And fourth lesson was that I have to give myself grace and reframe the image that I have of myself as a conscious being, like this pressure that you can't feel negative emotions. You always need to know what to do. You have to figure things out on your own. It's another lesson, because Maria had been offering me like, Mel, I can help you with creating your own bot to help you with your tax case. And I was like, no, I can figure this out on my own. Oh my God, it's been almost 2 months struggling with this case and then wondering why I was getting stressed and frustrated. So the humility of reaching out, of accepting help, that help is there. We just need to actually say yes, be humble enough to admit, okay, I don't know, and it's not worth me struggling. Like letting go of the struggle also. That's another lesson. And 5, I lost track of count now, is that really life is always, in that sense, trying to work with us, to show us where we need to be more balanced, i.e. more whole, i.e. not polarized into the light. Especially, if you're also on this path of self-growth and you're making a conscious effort in healing, give yourself grace. You're not always gonna get it right. You're gonna be frustrated. You're also gonna snap, although you know all the tools, although you should know what to do. Give yourself grace to make mistakes, to learn through experiences, and to then gather your own wisdom. To always know that there is something for you to learn in it if you really approach the situation as such. Not label it good or bad, but ask yourself, what can I learn from this? What are my dreams trying to communicate to me? Where am I out of balance? Where do I need to slow down and listen to life? Connect with my emotions Be inquisitive and curious. Why is this emotion there? What deeper belief is underneath? And does it still serve me? That is the deep work I'm inviting you to do. That is the shadow work. And you know the beautiful thing about shadow work, when you integrate your shadow and when you are more tolerant and acceptant towards yourself, you feel more energy because you're literally not fragmenting yourself internally. Yeah. You're not just this one interface. You're more like an ecosystem of different aspects. You're on many dimensions. There's your higher self, your oversoul, and so on up there. And this is your physical avatar. Your body is in your soul. You have 10 bodies in Kundalini Yoga. We like to call them the 10 bodies. Yeah. So how tolerant, how democratic is your ecosystem? Do you give each of your voices, each of your emotions space to be there? And if not, if you label them or reject an emotion, ask yourself why. What is not acceptable about it? And who is that voice in me labeling that emotion as not acceptable? Is it my ego that can't accept that emotion? What image are you trying to protect? You know, in my case, it was the image of, well, I'm supposedly a spiritual guide. You need to figure things out. You can't be feeling this kind of jealousy. You can't be going backwards and feeling shame again, you know? Grace. I've learned and I'm learning to give myself more grace in the process. Come off my high horse. Be connected to the ground, to the mud. And that the mud is where it's all happening. The alchemy is happening there. It's through the mud now that we can mold it into a transformative, beautiful creation of ours, which is this entire process, no? Because as we transmute, we are creating something new, a new energy, a new frequency, a new way of being. That's art also, no? So what are you doing with your mistakes, with your ugly emotions, with your unacceptable parts? How compassionate can you be towards yourself in those moments? Can you slow down and be inquisitive? Can you spend some time to reflect? What is there to learn for you? Where are you judging yourself harshly? And is it still serving you? Especially now, because we are in the middle of this wave, starting the wave of the new energetic year. Take this time to reflect. And really, I invite you, if you haven't done so, I mean, my question was, how about you? You know, have you had any dreams recently where you're like, hey, Magic Man, something similar happened to me. I had this dream, and can you connect it to a real life experience? What is your dream trying to tell you? Now and in general, I invite you to begin a relationship, a conscious relationship with your dream life. Have a notebook next to you. That's what I like to do. Set the intention before you fall asleep, like I want to remember my dream. I connect with Manakel, Manakel, Manakel. He's the angel of related to dreams. Help me remember my dream. Try not to wake up with a crass alarm that's too fast. You know, you have to kind of give yourself this interface of when you wake up and you're half asleep, so the dream is still there. You can catch it and write it down or speak into a voice note. But that conscious effort of relating to your dream will be rewarded by your subconscious. Your psyche, your soul will create circumstances for you to help integrate that dream, to help you relate it to an outer experience so that you can see a dynamic that you need to pay attention to within you. Yeah? So I hope this episode inspires you to be more curious about your dreams, engage with your dreams. Also creatively, you can draw them out. I love to create illustrations, whether digital or, you know, drawn out illustrations to really honor the dream and to really work with it and bring it. It's like solidifying it, integrating it into my conscious mind. by making that effort. So I invite you to, it's a beautiful creative process to do that. And yeah, especially now with the energetic new year, ask yourself, what shadow aspects are waiting to be integrated by me? And what patterns, what beliefs are underneath certain emotions that are being triggered in my real life? What underlying belief, outdated belief is there that I can release so I can enter the new energetic year on a lighter note, on a freer note, because it's all about liberation also. When we let go of outdated beliefs and patterns, we feel more spacious to invite something new, to create something new. And today is the new moon in Sagittarius. Use this auspicious time, double whammy, auspicious energy. Okay? That is my invitation to you. I hope this was useful. I hope you can string together the two dreams with the motorbike and me eating the praying mantis and the real life event with Maria and see the connection here. Let me know in the comments box. And let me know if you had a dream and if you had a similar experience. I'd love to hear from you. Okay? And if this was useful for you, then liking, sharing, subscribing is awesome, because then we can stay connected and you can hear more of moi, Magic Mel, on Mel's Magic Official. Okay? Have a beautiful new moon. Be intentional, slow down, be patient with yourself. And thank the universe for orchestrating events in your life that help you get to know yourself better on a deeper level. That is what we call in Kundalini Yoga a Wahe Guru moment. Wahe is like wow, an awe, a moment of awe. And Guru etymologically means coming from ignorance to light, from darkness to understanding to awareness. So the entire universe is orchestrating our inner and our outer lives so that we become more aware and more conscious. Okay? Waheguru. And with this, Sat Nam, have a beautiful evening wherever you are. Let me know where you're tuning in from, and I'll see you for our next episode. Sat Nam. See you soon, guys.